Hello and welcome to the Road to National series. Within this series, I'm going to try and qualify and compete in the British National Powerlifting Championships within raw powerlifting. Now, each episode within this series is going to show you some aspect of my diet, my lifestyle, but mainly my training leading up to try and compete. And there's going to be some sort of educational topic to go alongside this. So I'm going to cover things like my programming and how I'd advise you program, the max effort method, the dynamic effort method, why I utilize those methodologies, how I would advise you program accessories, how intensely you should be training your accessories, how much volume I'd advise, as well as specific things like pieces of equipment for a home gym if you're thinking of building that, what you should do whether you're injured or sick, or if you're going on holiday, how to manage that. There's going to be a wide array of topics that I'm going to cover, and if you think of any topic that you want me to cover, comment it down below. But without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so today I'm going to take you through a lower dynamic workout, and later on in the video I'm going to be talking to you about recovery tools. But first, this is my dynamic effort squats for the week. This is the second week in my 3-week wave of dynamics, and this week's programming is 4 sets of 5 at 80% 1 rep max in total. 36% of my 1 rep max is coming from the 80 kilos of bar weight, and the other 49% of my 1 rep max is coming from the 110 kilos of band to make up the 85% total 1 rep max. So these move pretty well. I was experiencing a little bit of knee pain throughout the series. I've mentioned I've been working through a knee injury, so I had to widen my stance a little bit more than my usual squatting technique. I don't want to make a habit of that because obviously you want to try and use your regular technique in order for your dynamic effort to transfer back over to regular squats, but it was good for managing the knee pain. So yeah, dynamic squats went well overall. Moving on to the accessories, started off here with hip extensions. These absolutely wreck my glutes and hamstrings. I said that the last video that I showed these, but you'll be seeing me sort of shouting out in pain after the last set. That is honestly not fake. It was like the most unbelievable burning pain in my glutes and hamstrings. I love doing hip extensions. Then after these there are quad extensions, then calf raises, and then hip abductions to end the video off. And whilst those accessories are playing, I'm going to talk to you about recovery tools. So there are quite a few different types of recovery tools I'm going to talk about here, so I'm literally just going to have to touch on each of them briefly. The first one is ice baths. People talk about using ice baths. Do I think that they're beneficial? Well, I think there is no evidence that they help directly with muscle building or strength building or anything like that. I think the main benefit of ice baths is that they are very unpleasant, and the mental benefits you get are high. People get a high from it. They say that it's very addicting, and once you get out of the water you feel great and awake for the day. So often doing them in the morning can be beneficial to wake you up, but the main benefits of them seem to be that you develop amazing discipline if you stick to doing 2-3 minutes ice baths per day. That's probably the hardest thing you're going to have to do in your day, but directly helping muscle building or strength building doesn't really happen from ice baths. The next recovery tool is saunas. Saunas are fantastic for general health benefits. There are numerous studies about that, and particularly countries like Scandinavian countries where saunas are numerous. They have found that there are health benefits from them, but again, it's not directly going to increase muscle building or strength building. It's just maybe a nice thing that you want to do extra for your health, and obviously if you enjoy doing it, do it. Now moving on to things like massaging and foam rollering. These can be related. People often think that they're good for injury prevention. That is not really the case. Manual therapy is not the best way to deal with injuries, but if you enjoy massages or foam rollering, sort of applying pressure directly to your muscles, maybe it allows you to feel like you're looser, and then you go and stretch afterwards. You could do your workout, then do some sort of massaging if you can afford doing that, or foam rollering, and then do some stretching. Maybe that's a nice routine and makes you feel great and helps with your mobility work, but directly there's nothing special that's occurring about massaging. I think people think that physios or whoever you've got to do your massage have magic hands and it's going to make you recover way quicker from your workouts. That's not necessarily the case, but if it feels nice, do it. I am very much considering investing in getting some massages, not very frequently, maybe just once every couple of weeks or month, because I do really enjoy massages and I do feel like it loosens me off. But that is just anecdotal. That's just the way I feel. And something that relieves you of stress is good. That's going to help you in life. You want to keep stress low. That is going to be beneficial for recovering. So the last two types of recovery that I'm going to touch on are red light therapy and hyperbaric chambers. There are lots of things like this, and honestly, my take on these are they are very expensive, and the benefits of just getting good nutrition and good sleep vastly outweigh anything you're going to do with like red light therapy or hyperbaric chamber. They're not these magic recovery tools that are suddenly going to make your body like recover 2 times faster or anything like that. I think they're marketed that way, and I think people who are at the top levels of sports often want to buy into the fact that they're doing everything they can to recover, and maybe that mentally is going to help them, that feeling that they're doing everything they can. But there is very little evidence. There's things like people say, oh, sleeping 1 hour in a hyperbaric chamber is the same as 12 hours sleep at night. That is a very bold claim, and I think it's wrong. If that was the case, then why would you ever, once you've got a hyperbaric chamber, sleep regularly in a bed? You just sleep 1 hour each night in the hyperbaric chamber and have 23 hours of daytime to do things in. So I don't believe that that is the case. But again, if you want to do them and you have the money, go for it. And if they make you feel like you're doing everything to improve, that can be beneficial. On the other hand, sometimes trying to get all these recovery tools in can be stressful. So if whatever is the least stressful for you, I recommend you do that. So this is me ending the session off. That is it for today's video. I hope you did in fact enjoy the video. If you did, drop it a like, drop it a comment, subscribe, click the bell, and have a great day.